What's up, guys? It's the first Thursday of August, and that means National IPA Day. And I'm motherfucking stoked. So, I got some beers from the local store, kind of in a rush today, but we had some good choices. Excited about a couple of local brews here in Las Vegas. We have the Bad Beat Hoppy Cons IPA, and we have Joseph James Citra Rye IPA. I really like this beer, but this one tends to give me a hangover if I have more than one. And then we have 3 Stone IPAs. We have the regular Stone IPA, the Hop Revolver IPA with Sabro hops, and we have the Ghost Hammer IPA. I'm excited about this one. I haven't had these two, I believe. And then of course we have the Firestone Walker Union Jack. That's their classic IPA. This is Stone's classic IPA. And I think today, because I haven't had them before really, I'm gonna go ahead and try these two. And I'll save these ones for later. So let's talk about IPAs for a moment. I love IPAs. They are a great beer. I like West Coast style IPAs, especially those bitter, piney flavored IPAs. They're super delicious, refreshing. If they're done right, there's a little bit of bitterness, hop in the nose and aroma, and it's just an enjoyable beer. But I've also had some bad ones too. Most of you probably know the very beginning of IPAs, the India Pale Ale, which is the soldiers and inhabitants from Britain to India wanted beer, and a certain brewery started making beers that can make the voyage to India, which was extra hops and more alcohol, which both act as preservatives. And so that beer started getting to India, and there was a huge boom for it. So there's a lot of demand, and that meant that other breweries now could fill that demand. One in particular in the Trent Valley in Burton of Trent, they started making a beer, and because the water was harder in that area, which IPAs, hops flourish in harder water due to the mineral content, they began to become incredibly popular. And so for a long time, those were popular then, and that recipe was long lost, a long time ago. Enter the 1970s, and craft breweries are popping back up after years after Prohibition, and starting to make their versions of IPAs, especially that hops were flourishing here in the United States. And lo and behold, over time, you have some big gems coming out. You have Stone making all their IPAs. In New Mexico, there's a ton of IPAs that do very well. Pliny the Elder, which made the double IPA, the double Imperial IPA, the double IPA, that became famous. I've had that before. It's a really delicious beer, but there's also a ton of others out there that I can't pull out of my mind right at the moment, but they're delicious. Lately, session IPAs are getting big because people are demanding lower alcohol, but hop forward beers, and I really like those too, especially when, I want one, but it's maybe the afternoon and I don't want to start hard. So session IPAs are great. I'm actually brewing one right now. Roll that beautiful session IPA footage. Another thing that I love about IPAs, they're super easy to come by nowadays, which is awesome. I mean, there's nothing better than being able to get a hold of a beer as soon as possible, right? Especially ones you like. So in my case, IPAs. So let's go ahead and open 2 of them. Alright guys, so we have our 2 Stone IPAs. We have the Hop Revolver IPA, which is a single hop IPA made with Sabro hops. Super excited about this experimental series on single hop varieties, which I think is super cool. Then we have the Ghost Hammer IPA. Now, this is a multi-hop beer, and quite honestly, the description is really interesting, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it for you. A fermenting beer never slumbers. Consequently, there is always scattered activity tending our precious beers throughout the dark hours. In these late nights and wee hours, that hollowed responsibility falls to the shoulders of the overnight brew crew. These brewing vanguards brave the long night, often alone, to do what needs to be done. Most areas of the brewery are dark or in the shadows. Throughout the night, the cellars resonate with the occasional knocking of expanding and contracting pipes. It can be a bit spooky to hear the brewery creak and groan as if possessed by a spirit randomly knocking about with a mallet. This IPA, brewed with a striking array of hops, honors our intrepid overnight team by naming it after their mischievous poltergeist companion, the Ghost Hammer. So I'm sure there's a good story behind that, but it's just kind of a fun little description for it. The Hop Revolver is coming in at 7.7% alcohol by volume, and the Ghost Hammer is coming in at 6.7 ABV. So that's pretty interesting. This looks like a classic West Coast style. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that because it's gonna be a little crispier, cleaner. Let's go in for a sip. Oh, that's delicious. That reminds me of a classic Stone IPA for sure. Super on the hops, super floral. Not a lot of citrus flavors to it. I can tell that they just did hops throughout the entire boil from beginning to end, and it's got that smooth flavor. Piney. Yeah, it's delicious. Really like it. Let's go ahead and try the Ghost Hammer IPA. Oh, interesting. That's actually not too far off. Different than this one. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and believe that they brewed it in the same style, although using different hops. It's got more of a bitterness up front, and a little thicker. I mean, even the color kind of looks like they used a lighter malt, and you can sort of tell the difference. I've noticed that the head on this beer, on the Ghost Hammer, seems to be staying around a little bit longer than on the Revolver IPA. When they're brewing this beer, they did things that allowed the beer to hold on to the head. There is better head retention. This one's really delicious. I'm super surprised. I didn't know what to expect with the color on this IPA. It's smooth. Yeah, definitely more bitter on at the beginning. Yeah, the hops tend to be crisper and more piney on the Hop Revolver, those Sabro hops. Definitely get that flavor. This one tends to be a tiny bit, I don't even want to say juicy. I feel like that's overdone. No, it's a solid IPA. It's a little thicker. I feel like the hops on this beer tend to be not as harsh, so this would be more approachable. I mean, even at 6.7%, it's more approachable. This is 7.7% ABV. Today's taste, I think I'm actually gonna go for this one, the Ghost Hammer IPA. I did not expect that. The Sabro is good. It's tasty. I'm gonna drink all of it for sure. There's no doubt about it. National IPA Day, for Christ's sake. But the winner here, I'm gonna have to say, is the Ghost Hammer IPA. Go grab yourself a 6-pack of these. Enjoy one a night or two. You know, whatever your your drinking habits are, go for it. I say go for it. But to me, this is the clear winner. I'm gonna go ahead and read the Sabro hops profile just for a second, just so you get an idea of what they're trying to do. The aim of this experimental hop-centric series is to demonstrate just how dramatically a single hop can impact a beer. We're going to periodically fire off a variety of single hop variations of this IPA for some good brewing fun. Empty the bright tank with one, reload it with another batch, rinse, reload, repeat. We invite you to enjoy along with us. So yeah, again, this is the Sabro right there. So yeah, these are both good. Super stoked. Got 4 more to try. Super stoked about that, but that's not gonna happen today. Probably will happen tomorrow or this weekend. Like, subscribe, comment on what your favorite IPA is, what you're drinking today on National IPA Day. What's your favorite beer story? I don't care. I'd love to hear all about it, so just let me know. Subscribe if you haven't. Like this video if you enjoyed it. What's a good cheers? Prost.